Hello and welcome to level 41 of the Thoughts and Players podcast, the gaming podcast with bold takes and no strings attached. I am Jeremy, here once again with my two compadres. I have David.
What up?
And I have Cory.
Play for everyone.
Oh, that's EA.
No.
Oh.
That's the slogan for Stadia. Come on. Stadia.
Okay.
Jeremy, me and you just got our Stadias in. So
we sure did. We sure did. Yep.
Initial thoughts?
I don't have any because I haven't played it. Initial thoughts on your end?
5 minutes in, okay. Come on. That's all
right.
I got nothing.
Okay.
Like a quote for somebody who gets around.
Yeah, okay.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, chickens, ducks, and hens, we are glad you are joining us on this level 41. We previously, on our previous level 40, we did a gift card giveaway, announced the winner on the bonus level. Congrats to the winner of the gift card giveaway. We will be doing more, so make sure you stay tuned. If you're someone that say, hey, I want to hop on, try to do this one, but maybe hop off. Maybe you don't hop off so quick. Maybe you linger around a bit, like a ghost of a haunted house or a car, whatever they haunt. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. It was fun. We like doing that. I think we did it before. We had fun then too. So that's something to look forward to doing. But we're going to go from that news into some different news, industry news, gaming news, with the newsy news, the morning announcements. And for today's level, we have 4 items on the board. Item number 1, the Grand Theft Auto Trilogy Definitive Edition is a disaster. Who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk that a company decided that, hey, we're going to do a quick cash grab on this IP and poop it out real quick, and it didn't work well. So there's been tons of bugs and issues, and with all 3 versions or all 3 IPs, with 3 in Vice City and San Andreas. So much so of an issue that Rockstar announced today that they are postponing the release of the physical editions of the game until December 17th. So if you happen to, you can still grab it digitally, I guess, but you can't grab a physical version until the week before Christmas, I guess. That's when they decided it would be best to do. I have been playing a little bit of GTA San Andreas. That's the definitive edition of that. That is available on Xbox Game Pass. So I've been playing that almost exclusively for this while. But I can get into some thoughts on that later. Guys, what do you make of this disastrous launch of the GTA trilogy? It feels very Cyberpunk 2077 in regards to the reaction to it. So what are your guys' thoughts?
That sounds terrible. I mean, the only thing I've seen is just negative, bad reviews of this definitive edition thing. I've seen nothing good from it. I wasn't excited about it, and I'm glad I was fortunate not to waste my money on it.
Yeah, Rockstar is shady AF, man. That's calling it the definitive edition. There's nothing definitive about it. It's horrible. Yeah, the worst part is they took down the versions that actually worked, right?
Yep.
The ports that were like the actual games, nothing messed up with them, that were fine.
Very Activision Blizzard of them.
Yes, they took down the mods for all those games as well. Like, they really they suck.
They do.
Like, it's really messed up. But I hope they get taken care of because I know those 3 games are beloved. I tried a little bit of San Andreas. It feels like it didn't age well. I've never played it back in the day, but
that's interesting.
The story felt very hokey, slightly like caricature of that lifestyle. I don't know. What did you get out of it? I want to talk about it later.
Yeah, I didn't get that from hokiness as far as the story. I think the story's fine.
Okay.
I think the story stands up. I think mechanically, yeah, when you play San Andreas, you are very quickly reminded that we've come a long way since that game came out.
Right,
especially from the shooting mechanics wise. Even for Rockstar, which notoriously has terrible shooting mechanics, they've come a long way from that. So yeah, but kind of I mean, it isn't just this. Rockstar in general, don't know if people know this, is a terrible, terrible company. Okay.
Yes.
They have horrible workplace practices. But this is just another instance of them being not great.
And then GTA 6 had a little small announcement today talking about it's going to be toned down. Did you read that?
Yeah,
in
a
terms
little
of like the wackiness or the satire,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
Just kind of not what you want in GTA.
It's
Because then you just get GTA 4 all over again.
Apparently people love GTA 4.
Not Jeremy.
But you know what? I think it's weird from the way of GTA didn't always, but for a brief time there had Saints Row riding his coattails, and Saints Row was so much more ridiculous than Grand Theft Auto that it made Grand Theft Auto seem grounded. So
Right.
I guess maybe they're trying to go for a more grounded, realistic, because GTA 5 is pretty absurd. But it's kind of like mocking Los Angeles and Hollywood, and that whole thing is actually absurd. There's absurd things, absurd people that live in those places in reality. The satire wasn't that crazy. You know, the one thing they had with the guy making the announcement with the phone and the stuff, they were mocking those presentations from Steve Jobs. Like those were based on real things. I don't know, but maybe get started on that and give up on this trilogy, or put more resources on the trilogy to get it working right. You got to do something, man. Speaking of terrible companies, news item number 2, Activision Blizzard. They had employees do a walkout over the continued, I guess, just fiasco in regards to workplace harassment, sexual harassment. There was I think it was by the Washington Post, put out an article, exposing that Bobby Kotick, who was the CEO or is the CEO of Activision Blizzard, actually knew about many of these discretions and didn't do anything about it. So they were walking out to demand his resignation, as well as the resignation of a bunch of different people. This continues to get worse. I think they're in litigation right now with some parties, maybe some like ex-employees or something like that. We talked before about the other studio head quitting like 3 months after getting the new job or something like that. It's just a total cluster bleep there. And this is another sign of it, but trying to hold people accountable. So now the demand is that the CEO, who's made this company and its stockholders so much money, now it's time that they got to go, or he's got to go. So that's kind of what's happening there. Guys, we've talked about kind of these stories in the past. This one is just staying red hot in regards to all the stuff that's happened. Like, we haven't even went back to the Ubisoft stuff that's been happening as well. But I don't know if you guys have been keeping up on this, but what's your thoughts? You guys think Bobby Kotick needs to go? Is that the move?
I mean, if he knew about most of this stuff and didn't do anything about it, most certainly.
Yeah.
He could have not been a person that did anything, but he's an accomplice if he just let everything slide on by.
Right.
Like, I've said it 1,000 times. I know it's a business. I know it's all about making money, but your staff, your employees, they should all feel safe and want to come to work. And no one wants to come to work if they know they're going to be harassed.
Yeah.
If Activision Blizzard stays a huge company after all of this, I'll be surprised.
Yeah.
Jeremy, you pointed out they make a ton of money, correct?
Yeah. Bobby Kotick has made them tons of money.
He ain't going nowhere. Until he stops making the money, he ain't going nowhere. He could do the most diabolical things in the world, but once he stops making money is when they'll let him go.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's why it's been so weird. I mean, because you think about, the reaction to it was at Brack over at Blizzard. He was, I guess, actually an actual like participant in some of that behavior, though. With Kotick, he just more so swept it under the rug. But still, I think to hide it, it's to still be a participant in that trauma and in that harassment. So, but he makes them so much money, they're going to basically be like, look, we're going to be mum until we're basically forced to get rid of this guy because he just makes his money. And they make money by nickel and diming you on microtransactions and releasing their staff around holiday times without telling them before they do that. They do incredibly horrible things to do that, but yeah, you need to make the money, so they'll probably try to keep them as much or as long as they can. News item number 3, the product of another terrible company, Bethesda. There was an announcement that Elder Scrolls 6 has been confirmed as an Xbox exclusive. I believe this is by Phil Spencer, the Xbox czar himself, kind of talked about it in an interview. I don't think that this was a surprise to anyone, really.
No.
I think we pretty much thought that they almost maybe acquired Bethesda solely to have Elder Scrolls be an exclusive series on the Xbox again, like it was with Morrowind and Oblivion and all that. So yeah, I don't think this is anything surprising. Just really, 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 really wish Bethesda was not making this game, but I can't do anything about that. So, guys, what do you take away from this?
I mean, it just put the nail in the coffin. Speculations that everyone assumed is true, and that's all there is to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very expected. Why wouldn't they do this? This gets people to want to join the Xbox community. And I think with it being exclusive, it's honestly one of the top 5 IPs, exclusive IPs.
Yeah.
Like this is maybe bigger than Halo, bigger than really anything Sony has, bigger than God of War in terms of just known IP. So yeah, good move. Smart financial move.
Yeah, not bad. I mean, it makes business sense. It makes, but yeah. Well, I'm just hoping Avowed by Obsidian's as good, if not better. And then news item number 4, Dragon Ball: The Breakers was announced. Now, this is a news item that I did not participate in putting on here, but I have a good guess of who did. That would be one Cory.
Me.
Yeah.
This is 100% a David game through and through. This is Dead by Dragon Ball.
Okay, so it's totally right, but I didn't put it up here.
Really?
So Cory did put it up here, but it totally was. This has my name on it.
Yeah.
Like I'm interested, like, because I love the IP, you love the gameplay. I don't know if you're a big Dragon Ball fan at all, but
yes.
Okay, so is this like a game you're going to be picking up?
Certainly, and what for the most important reason is not because it's like Dead by Daylight, but because if you guys remember, like, Could You Please, or one of my things back at Levels and Levels ago, I asked for people of Dragon Ball to make a different game.
Yeah.
Stop
this is different.
Copy and pasting. And this is it. So I have to put my mouth where my words are, or whatever the saying is.
That wasn't
it. I have to give this game a go. They gave me what I want, and I'm gonna get it. At least
this is basically a asymmetric multiplayer Dragon Ball game.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
I think from the small details we got, you can be Frieza, Cell, and Boo, and you're pretty much hunting down players. You can be like humans, and they also showed you being like a pig. I forget the pigs. Oolong, yes. And you can kind of and you can kind of transform into different objects as him. So there's going to be probably different abilities for the type of characters you pick. It's very out of left field for Dragon Ball. This would have been one of the last genre of games I would have expected them to pick. But
that's interesting.
It's very cool that they're doing this. Like I don't know if I'm going to pick it up because I don't have confidence that it's going to be a good game.
I mean, it'll probably be on Game Pass.
That'd be wonderful. Yeah,
do we know who's developing it?
I don't know the exact.
It's not Bandai, right?
Bandai's probably publishing it.
Yeah.
Published everything from Dragon Ball, so
yeah.
Don't know who's working on it though.
We'll see. We'll see.
Very crazy. Very crazy.
Very interesting. Yeah, that's a very interesting take on that IP. Well, there you go. Morning announcements. Ended with something a little bit surprising there. And we're going to move on to our roundtable discussion or roundtable segment where we have a singular topic of discussion that we discuss. And for this, we know that the Game Awards, we talked about how we're looking forward to that. They are quickly approaching with haste.
Oh, yeah.
And not too long ago, the Game Awards, they announced their nominees for some of their awards. And, we were talking about it and we had some reactions. So we want to talk about some snubs and surprises from the nominations and the Game Awards. Different categories, obviously, we'll be talking about Game of the Year, but some different categories as well. So I've got them. I got them up here. I'm gonna look through some of them now. I don't know if you guys want to start with the Game of the Year and then go to some of these other ones, or did you want to maybe explore some other categories first?
I mean,
I'm thinking, I think
hit us with other categories. Let us just kind of like pick out winners real quick.
Gotcha.
I like that idea.
Gotcha. Well, let's I got triggered. All right, so let's look at best narrative game first, right? So best narrative has 5. The 5 nominees are Deathloop, It Takes Two, Life is Strange, True Colors, Marvel's Guardian of the Galaxy, and Psychonauts 2. Now, I know that of all these games, I have played Deathloop and It Takes Two. I have Psychonauts downloaded, but have not played it yet. And Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, I did order, but it will not be here until January 17th. And Life is Strange, I have no interest in. So I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with, I mean, obviously a couple of them, but what do you guys think of these nominees? Are there any snubs here or surprises in regards to narratives with games?
I guess I'm surprised, but not surprised, I guess, at the Marvel one.
Okay.
I mean, Marvel's kind of taken over everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of surprised to see it in there. I'm not sure about what Psychonauts, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know too much about that one, but the Deathloop I think is a good choice because that one was really good. I connected to that one a lot.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the surprise would be Marvel.
I think all these are pretty good choices. I know you're not too sold on Marvel, but they did a really good job, putting that IP out there and really kind of not totally separating it from the movie, but giving it its own little energy and stuff. But I think It Takes Two probably takes this category. It was also nominated for Game of the Year. Mm-hmm. I think, unfortunately, small games get snubbed in the Game of the Year race. This is a really good category for them to win. Real fun platformer, and it's got a really, heartfelt story behind it. So I think that definitely takes the cake on this. As far as snubs, I'm sure there's a couple. I haven't played every game. I play a lot of games, but I'm sure there's a couple here
right.
that could have been here. But I'm okay with the 5 that they have up.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really have an issue with it. I don't think. At least not with best narrative. I don't. I don't. But let's look at some more here. Let's see. Best role-playing game.
Oh, boy. Nice.
Category here where for nominees we have Cyberpunk 2077, we have Monster Hunter Rise, Scarlet Nexus, Shin Megami Tensei 5, and Tales of Arise. We've talked about Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk has a past. But Cyberpunk has been getting better. They have been working on it. Of course, they really have no choice but to do that. What I mean, I don't know. I'm familiar with Cyberpunk, and I've played a little bit of Scarlet Nexus. Right. But what are your guys' thoughts?
I think CD Projekt Red is pretty beloved by reviewers, even though Cyberpunk obviously didn't get the best reviews. I think people, even while reviewing it, were making not excuses, but they were kind of like letting things pass. Like, oh, it will get better. And, they still gave it pretty high scores. So I think that's going to win this category. It's just the biggest game out of them all. I'm not saying it's the best. I think Monster Hunter got really great reviews, and Tales of Arise got really great reviews this year. So obviously they all did, but those two stand out as maybe those two should win. Maybe Tales of Arise, kind of out of left field a little bit.
Yeah.
I feel Cyberpunk could take it because besides it being a crap show and so many things updated, so many bugs, just the actual game itself was a great concept. You make your person, your own life, you make all these decisions. Like, I was actually interested in this RPG of a game, which I never really am. But as Cory said, the other two probably will take it because of the lack of how well the game was put out for Cyberpunk.
Yeah. There's a possibility. I mean, Cyberpunk may take it just off our name recognition alone, but those other games again. I know Tales of Arise. How long ago that it came out? Quite recently, right?
A couple months at least.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. But you're right. Monster Hunter Rise, it got such a good response too. And I was thinking about that.
That is a
possibly
great
picking that
follow
up.
too.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. It was a Switch exclusive.
Exactly.
I know a lot of people have the Switch, but some people just don't like gaming on the Switch. So that might kind of hinder it. You know, if it was something like Monster Hunter World, where it came out on everything, or it came out on the big consoles, then yes. But I think it's, Monster Hunter is a huge franchise now, but I think it's a little too niche right now still.
Right. Yeah. Let's see here. A category that can maybe speak with a bit more I guess authority on is best sim strategy. This category cracks me up. Nominees are Age of Empires 4 is one, of course, which okay. There's Evil Genius 2, which wasn't well received at all. I don't even know how it's on here. You had Humankind, which was fairly well received, but nobody really liked it that much. Inscription, which I'll be obviously I'm not familiar with, which I'm surprised because it's published by Devolver. And then Microsoft Flight Simulator, which I feel like was on there last year. So I'm a bit confused. Yeah. So what the heck?
I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe they ran out of options. Do they have to have 5 in a category?
I would feel like maybe you wouldn't have to because best multiplayer has 6 in it, right? So I mean,
right.
Maybe there's a minimum of 5.
So I can say full on authority as a sim slash strategy player that this is a joke. This category is a joke. And the winner will be Age of Empires 4.
Who's your personal winner
this
year? What's your personal winner for this year? Not even on the list, just in general.
For like best game of the year?
No,
whatever.
Sim.
For sim? Yeah. Best sim slash strategy. I have to say that's the thing. From what I've played this year, I gotta say Age of Empires 4, and I don't like it.
You just dogged them.
It's a joke.
Empires 4 will win.
It's a joke.
Did Civ come out this year?
No. Humankind is Civ-like. And a matter of fact, you know what? Thank you, Cory. I'm gonna give it to Humankind because Humankind at least like introduces some new different ideas and mechanics in regards to what a 4X game would be, right? If you compared Humankind and put it up to Civ, they have a lot of similarities, but they're not all the same. And Humankind takes some things from the Endless Legend game and borrows it and brings it in, and it works well. So I actually like that. Also Riftbreaker. It's pretty
okay.
I mean, I think it's better than Evil Genius 2 was. So heck, and if they're, matter of fact, if they're redoing Microsoft Flight Simulator, put Total War Remastered on there then. Like, what are we doing here? This is dumb.
That's fair.
Let's see here. What category are you guys interested in?
Can we do most anticipated game?
Most anticipated game.
Yes, like
this
2022. I've been talking about 2022 a ton. How good of a year it is. So we have 5 games, which I think are all going to be killer. So not even who wins this. Which one of these 5 are you like most anticipated for? And tell me why it's funny, Jeremy.
It's hilarious because all these are going to be, like you said, absolute killers.
Mm-hmm.
And
so it's hard.
For some weird reason, I almost feel like none of these are going to come out next year, which doesn't make any sense.
I mean,
because some of these are supposed to come out in February, so obviously they're going to come out.
Elden Ring and Horizon's definitely coming out for sure, 100%. Those 2 games are coming out.
So, are you most anticipating? You're most anticipated for Horizon Forbidden West is what I'm picking up from you.
Me?
Yeah.
No, it's God of War.
What?
I don't like Horizon.
What?
No, I didn't like the first one. It was fine. It was it was an open world game. I don't think it did much different than previous ones. It looked nice.
Okay.
But I think Zelda came out pretty close to Horizon, and Zelda was just the much better open world game in my opinion. So, but I might buy this one. I don't know. All 5 are to be anticipated. They're real good. Elden Ring, very excited about that. I haven't watched any videos, so I'm gonna be going into that super blind, and it comes out so soon. So it's like the sooner the game is, the more I'm hyped for it, just because I know it's coming out.
Right.
So if I had to pick one, you might think it's Forbidden West, but I'm actually probably most anticipating Ragnarok, right?
Okay.
I don't know why Starfield is on here, and I don't know why the sequel to Hellblade is not on here.
Jeremy, come on. You don't know why Starfield's up here?
I mean, I know why, but it shouldn't be. And and Hellblade, Senua's, I don't know. Well, that's the one that's out.
Right.
When is it going to come out?
Also, the sequel to that game.
Yeah, Hellblade, Senua's, let's say, freelance photography.
Yes.
You know, that's supposed to be up here. You know,
I definitely agree.
Instead of Starfield, nobody's looking forward to Starfield. You know who's looking forward to it? The reviewers, and that's it. That's the freaking lame people that make this thing up. That's why it's on there. No one else cares about Starfield. You want to play Starfield? Play Outer Worlds. It's better. All right, let's go to Game of the Year.
Let's do it.
Game of the Year. Your nominees, there's 6 of them. You got Deathloop, It Takes Two, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and Resident Evil Village. Those are the 6 games for Game of the Year. First, let's talk about our initial reaction to this, because we had one. What was our thoughts? What's our thoughts when we look at these 6 games of all the games that came out this year competing for Game of the Year?
My first thought was easily Resident Evil, not to be biased. And also, my instant first thought, 1A, is how is Ratchet and Clank on there? And we discussed that is because there's just a lack of games this year. That was my instant reaction.
Right. Yeah, right.
All right. So my instant reaction is it's a very weak year. Very weak. Like these games, I've actually played all of these. I even played Psychonauts 2 for a small bit, but I played all of these and I beat 4 of them. And I think it's a weak year. I don't think any of these games were close to masterpiece status or even like incredible. A couple of these were very, very good, but none of them were just over the top amazing like we see sometimes from year to year. And that's a little disappointing. You know, it's a decent list, but yeah, once we go to snubs and surprises, you know, I have some more thoughts. But Jeremy, your instant reaction?
My instant reaction was, this is a dumb list. It was that was my initial reaction. Then I began to dissect why it was dumb, and then now we can go into like snubs and surprises in regards to our dissection. So do you want to start snubs? What do you think was snub here?
Honestly, didn't Valheim come out this year?
Ring ding 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 a ding ding.
That was such an amazing game. Indie or not, I don't care. Valheim was amazing.
Yeah, it deserves to be up here.
I mean,
easily over Ratchet and Clank.
I mean, I wonder who got the duffel bag of cash to put Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart on here and not put Valheim, a game that enraptured the gaming community for at least the initial, I don't know, 3-4 months of the year.
Right.
Like what is this?
It almost
I don't even think all the places even reviewed Ratchet and Clank, like as far as like outlets.
Right. Valheim almost instantly had 20 million downloads in like a month.
Yeah, not to jump on the Ratchet and Clank hate, but yeah, it was a $70 8-hour shooter platformer game that was fine, had amazing graphics, but it was not memorable at all. You don't think back and be like, wow, what amazing moments I had in this game. Now, for me, I have a couple snubs, and they're 2 exclusives, and they would replace 2 exclusives on this list. You have Ratchet and Clank, which was
Metroid.
fine. Well, no, Nintendo doesn't have anything to replace Metroid. Nintendo had a bad year, but for one, Ratchet and Clank should be replaced by Returnal. It was a much better game, much more memorable game. It was unique. It was fun. It was challenging. It was a great game. It was a very good game, and it should have took the place of Ratchet and Clank. And then Psychonauts 2, admittedly, I did not play a lot. Maybe about a half hour, 45 minutes. But to me, taking away the story, which might be really good and really unique, it was like an early 2000s platformer.
Mm-hmm.
Just nothing that would scream, hey, this is your game of the year. And even though it's not my type of genre, Forza should have made it. It got amazing reviews. I know it's a racing game, but it's the best in its class, and it was one of the better games to come out. So replace Psychonauts 2 with Forza and Ratchet and Clank with Returnal. And then I think you have a much more solid list. Still not great, and also Valheim should be up there.
Yeah, this list is it's an insult. It's an insult to all things. I mean, one thing I want to, not only do I think it should be on the game of the year, I did a brief look through of all the categories. I looked at best, it's not on best debut indie. Valheim is, right? I'm trying to think if is it on anything? Yeah, I don't see it anywhere on here. Where the F is Wildermyth? It's nowhere on this list. That game came out this year. It's nowhere on here. Where is Wildermyth?
So I can't speak for Wildermyth because, Wildermyth, coming from you and from my buddy, is an amazing game. I've heard anyone that's played it talked about how amazing it is. But I think for Valheim, it came out too early. If this would have came out a month ago and got 20 million downloads, Game Awards would have been pumping it up. Like, hey, this is your game of the year. It's in the show. It came out, in March?
Yeah, something like that.
Late March, I think, yeah.
And I don't know how many players it still gets. I'm assuming it's pretty good, but it's just not in the zeitgeist, as you like to say, Jeremy. It's there. It's a good game. It's getting updates, but it just came out too early.
But even a 8-month-old Valheim has more juice than Ratchet and Clank. No one's talking about that game.
No one. I can't.
Nobody.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know.
I mean, the other ones, I can't speak too much on Psychonauts 2. I haven't had a chance to play it yet, really.
Right.
Metroid Dread. I'm not really a big Metroid person, so that's biased there. I can't speak as to whether it deserves to be there or not. I mean, judging by what you were saying, Cory, there were Metroidvanias that came out 2-3 years ago there that are superior to it. So I don't know how that could just be a consequence.
It's still a very good game. It's just,
Yeah,
because my roommate, his favorite game is Metroid, and he hasn't said one word to me about it.
Yeah.
I think if it was such a great game, he would have said something like a cool battle or a cool new item or something, but literally nothing.
It Takes Two being the game of the year. I just hate that it's on the list. I just want another game there. But if you ask me, does it deserve to be on the list? I would tell you, yeah. But I don't want it on there. So that's how I feel about that. But yeah, where's Wildermyth? It's an incredible, exceptional indie game that has hours of content, hours of replayability. It's built into the mechanics of the game. Many games can't do that. As far as a tactics game, it's absolutely on point. As far as a narrative storytelling game, it has all that matched up. The art to it is interesting, fairy tale-ish kind of card-looking artwork. I mean, it's an exceptional game. The idea that it's not competing for game of the year, okay, you want to put, I'm fine. If you said, you know what, Wildermyth or Valheim isn't up there, but Forza Horizon 5 is, okay, I back off. But Forza is an exceptional game. The previous one was exceptional, and this one is even more so just exceptional, like the class bearer of its genre. And the idea that that's not on there, but freaking Rift Apart is, that's not even the best platformer that came out this year, probably.
No.
So I don't understand the Game Awards, man. But what can you expect from these people? The musical guest is going to be Sting. All right, I don't get it.
Outdated.
Do we have any other ideas, any other things you want to express about the Game Awards other than, I'm speaking for myself, I am exponentially less interested in seeing it now.
I mean, we have to pick our winner.
Who's going to win? Who's going to win Game of the Year?
And I should say this isn't our personal Game of the Year, just the winner.
Like, I honestly think it's Resident Evil.
Yeah. What do you think, Cory?
Yeah, I think it's a for sure shoe-in for Deathloop. Big AAA game made by a big developer with a unique concept. And it was highly reviewed by everybody. So it's easily the winner in my mind. It's going to take the award. Resident Evil is a great choice too, but yeah.
You don't have to say it. I'll say it. The fact that the two main protagonists in Deathloop are POCs,
no,
that don't hurt it at all. I think Deathloop is a shoe, and I think it's either Deathloop or It Takes Two. I think those are the two locks.
I mean,
sure, I'm betting on Deathloop.
Deathloop is
100%
Deathloop choice.
Yeah,
that's my second choice, so I'll be all right with that.
Yep. I'm yet to beat that game too. That is it for the roundtable. Means we're gonna move on to quickfire. We want to highlight 1, 2, sometimes 3 games we've been playing. Who would like to give their quickfire first? I can give mine first. Okay. Mine's short. I have been playing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas Definitive Edition, and that's pretty much it. Who would like to give their quickfire? Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Who would like to give theirs next?
I'll go.
All right.
Grinding that Apex, of course, and this new game came out, some Halo Infinite. I don't know.
It's Infinite.
Right. Yeah.
Infinite.
It was all right.
Okay.
That's my quick fire.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Yes, I've been playing a couple. I bought Stardew Valley on the iOS, playing on my iPad. Looks great on there. I just wanted something a little more relaxing. And I hate myself, but I did buy Pokemon.
I see that. How many times did you say you weren't going to buy that?
Well, I went in with a different mindset. I am doing a Nuz. Yes. If you'd let me finish, I'm doing a Nuzlocke run. So, if anyone knows what a Nuzlocke run is, there are 3 main rules to a Nuzlocke run. Rule number 1: if your Pokemon faints, you must release it. So it's almost like a hardcore mode. Every Pokemon you catch, you must give a nickname. So that's kind of giving you like that. Oh, they're my friend. You're getting closer attached to them, and you can only catch the first Pokemon you find in each route. So if you go on Route 1 and a Pokemon appears, that's the only chance for you to catch it. If you kill it or you miss it, you're not allowed to catch any more Pokemon in that route. So it takes a very childish game and makes it a little more difficult. And I'll be honest with you, I've had already a few moments in my Nuzlocke run that have been way better than anything I've done in the last 10 years in Pokemon. I've had such a close call where my whole team was going to die, and I dodged a move at the last move they did. I ended up killing them. I've lost 4 Pokemon to the graveyard already, but my starter is still alive, thankfully. So the run continues. I'm past the first badge. But yeah, graphics kind of suck. It's chibi style. It's a straight up remake of Diamond. Nothing changed. So, take that for what you will.
What's really incredible is that you couldn't have did that without buying the new version of it.
Well, I traded in all my other Pokemon games.
So that doesn't answer. That doesn't answer.
So what are you asking me?
It seems like you had other Pokemon games. It seems like you could have did this run with the previous Pokemon games you had, rather than the new one.
All right. So for one, I felt like it was a good game to do it for because it is a remake. So I've already played this one. So I don't feel like if I don't catch every Pokemon, I'm missing out. I've seen all these Pokemon. I know exactly what to do. Like with Sword and Shield, I felt like I wanted to explore. I wanted to catch new Pokemon. I wanted to go to every single area. This one, I played it. I know the Pokemon. I just want to try to do a Nuzlocke run. I felt like it was a really good opportunity to do that.
Quick question.
Yes.
I've been thinking about starting a new run on Pokemon Sun on my 2D XL, whatever it's called. Think I should do that?
I mean, like, one of my worst things about Pokemon is it's so easy. It's brain dead. You tap A. You don't have to do any of the cool. You don't have to do any of the moves that lower defense or attack. It's really just pick your strongest move. This one really does add a flavor to it that you do not get in Pokemon at all. So if you're looking for a little bit of a challenge, it's if you follow the rules, yeah, go for it. It's like I said, it's been a lot of fun.
Okay. You have heard it. So that's going to end our quick fire. We're going to take a quick mid-roll break, and when we come back, we will be back with Was It Worth It?
This level of the Thoughts and Players podcast was made possible by your support. If you're enjoying the podcast, please be sure to like, rate, and share the show, as well as contribute to our community questions and segments. Doing so helps the show grow, keeps our content engaging, and most importantly, makes sure your voice is heard. Thanks for tuning in. And now, back to the show.
And we are back with more Thoughts and Players. And we are moving on to our favorite segment and your favorite segment, Was It Worth It? And for this Was It Worth It, we have Halo Infinite, or Infinite, as I guess we've coined it earlier. And they did a surprise release. I believe it was November 14th or 15th of the multiplayer beta. That is it right now. The rest of the game, the single solo person campaign, is going to be coming out on December 8th. But we have the multiplayer to jump into. We've all had a chance to play it, I believe. So we're going to be all contributing to the conversation into the Was It Worth It? Now, the interesting thing with this Was It Worth It is that it is currently free 99, as they say, right? You don't have to pay anything to get it. You can just download it. You can get it obviously on your Xbox, your PC on Xbox Game Pass or Steam, and I'm pretty sure other stores have it as well. So, obviously, if you guys don't know what Halo is, I wouldn't blame you. It hasn't been relevant for a minute, but basically, you play as Master Chief, this great Spartan soldier that's fighting the Covenant, an alien invader of Earth. And that's pretty much it for the story. That's what it's been. Of course, obviously, with the Was It Worth It, we have it broken down into 5 categories of visuals, sound and music, story, technical, and of course, most importantly, the gameplay. So let's jump into it, huh? Let's talk about these visuals.
Ooh.
Now, one of the reasons this game was delayed was because of the reaction to the visuals and its initial, reveal, announcement, stuff like that. They took the extra year to go back and refine the visuals. And so let's talk about the visuals. What do you guys think of it? Is it next-gen quality visuals?
I don't know about next gen, but the visuals are crisp. It's Halo, it looks the same, but
Yeah.
I guess better. Not like 4K better. Not
Right.
maybe, not using 4K, but I mean, they look great. So
Okay.
whatever they were, they did a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll second that. I mean, I'm not blown away by them at all, but I think it looks really good. It holds up. You're not looking at a game that feels like it's kind of last gen or kind of like lackluster in the graphics department. And I tend to really like Halo's art style. I don't know what it is. It's a very realistic game, but I feel like at the same time, it's like some of the colors really pop. They don't just go with like grays. Like obviously you can have your Spartan in pink, in light blue. And the weapons really are colorful, and some of the levels are. So I do like the art style of Halo. The visuals, like I said, not amazing, but they definitely work for what this is. It's a free to play multiplayer game.
Yeah, it's almost like a really, 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 really good remaster of Halo 5 Guardians in regards to the graphical fidelity of it all and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, nothing blows away, but I thought it looked pretty good. And it does look like Halo. Halo has a distinct look and it has that.
Yep.
Let's go to sound and music then. I mean, everyone, the Halo theme is more famous than the game, I think, by now. But let's talk about the sound and music. What do we make of it as far as what we played so far in the multiplayer?
I mean, they brought back that Halo theme.
Mm-hmm.
They added a little bit more instruments or something to it, but I was like, they have to bring it back, and they did. It sounded great. The game, it sounds like Halo. It has the sword slash still. It has that hammer noise. The BR sounds the same. Nothing crazy. There's some weird guns, but
There is. Yeah.
they, I guess the sounds go with them. I don't know, but yeah, nothing seemed out of character, out of ordinary. No other music sticks out to me,
Okay.
but yeah, that's not really shocked or amazed, and I'm not sad or mad about anything.
let's just call it what it is. It's excellence. That's what the Sound of Music for Halo is. The opening theme is iconic, one of the best. The guns all sound very good. All the regular human type weapons sound great, and all the alien weapons have a distinct sound. So distinct, I would say you would be able to tell them apart when they're getting fired at you. You know, the Needler makes a very distinct sound, and some of those plasma rifles do. You obviously have the announcer with Killtacular, double kill, and he sounds as good as he's ever sounded.
Yeah.
You have the death grunts from the Spartans as you kill them that are just hilarious. You know, it's really well done. This was always one of the high points for Halo, and they do not disappoint for sound or music here.
Right. Yeah. Sound and music to me was on point. Like you said, the guy when you're whatever it is, it's Slayer and different stuff like that, and it's like on point. The guns have a decent sounding punch to them. A lot of games don't do that well, you know, but they nailed it as far as like, you know, how it feels when you're shooting with the battle rifle compared to the assault rifle or the pistol and stuff like that. They have punch, shotgun, all that stuff. Story. Let's move the story, and story should be quick because there really is no story. This is multiplayer. So you're just killing everybody, you know. You have your bots.
Yeah.
You can kill bots, or you can kill regular people, regular players, other Spartans, I should say. I mean, you guys have anything to add with the story, really?
No, I did have a question though on the sound. The narrator guy, did it sound like there was different accents? I could have swore he had a different accent depending on what he said on certain things. Like it kind of.
He sounds much more gruff than he used to.
Yeah.
Aged.
Maybe,
but
maybe that's.
I'm going back to sound. You have like this AI companion, and my AI companion was very annoying. The character did a good job. You know, the voice actor did a great job, but he was very annoying. He was like a young sounding chipper, which felt very out of place for Halo. But
you wouldn't know. I think I know what you're talking about, and it gave me a little bit of Destiny vibes. I didn't like that.
I thought it was my Spartan at first because you can pick their voice. I was so confused. I'm like, why do I sound like this? And then it was just the AI. I switched it to a female, and she was a lot better.
Yeah.
What were the things they saying?
The robots?
Yeah, like what you were just talking about that annoys you.
I'm just the way he sounds. He'd be like, "All right, we're picking up this point."
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because like whenever you would play like a game mode like that, your robot like Stronghold is one of the game modes. He would come out and he would be taking it for you, and he would have like a thing or two that he would say. But yeah, I switched it to one of the females that sound, you know, a lot better.
Yeah.
On story, it's just a story of me getting my butt kicked over and over again.
I'm telling you. Technical portion. Did we have any technical issues? There have been technical issues with this game. Did we experience any of them ourselves?
Yes.
Okay.
Playing with keyboard causes crashes. I had one crash myself. My brother, he had a few crashes. He couldn't even play with his keyboard, so he had to play on controller, which he was fine with. That's what he wanted to do.
Okay.
But yeah, keyboard and mouse is giving this game some problems from what I've been hearing and have experienced.
Yeah.
The first point I'm going to bring up, I have not experienced myself, but it seems to be there are quite a few cheaters on the PC side of things.
Okay.
And with this game being crossplay, obviously that's leaking into people that are playing on the Xbox side having to deal with cheaters from the PC side. So that's kind of unfortunate. I don't want them to get rid of crossplay. I just want them to fix the cheating issues. Like I said, I haven't experienced it, but it's a beta, but I'm pretty sure this is kind of like this is the game, you know, kind of like how Fortnite was a beta for a couple years. This is the game,
right.
But there are some issues, I think. I had a little bit of trouble getting a party handled. It would say someone was in your party and you start a game and just not there. So now he has to wait a game. And I do have an issue with, I believe, is the quick resume of this game. So I don't hard close my game ever. So I will leave, play something else. And when I come back, it still has me in that fire team. And I can't really invite my friends or leave my old fire team until I hard reset the game, which is annoying, but I'm figuring they're gonna fix it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. I haven't really had that issue. I always like hard closed that or whatever, but That's interesting. So is it the other people in your fire team? Are they able to go ahead and still play games?
When I leave, yeah.
Okay.
Like when I leave, like they're totally not in my party anymore. But like I said, usually like we all leave together. So I'll turn it off, and then when I turn it back on, it's like it still has the 3 other guys I was playing with, and they're not in my party because they're just starting up their game again. And then I can't invite them because they're already part of my fire team. But I know if I were to start it up, it would be me by myself.
Yeah, gotcha.
Small one, but just a little annoying, and I'm sure they're gonna fix it.
Right.
Yeah, they're working on that stuff. Yeah, so some technical issues. I haven't really had a lot. There was obviously some issues in regards to like longer than like load times into certain maps or into certain games that seem less about trying to find a population and more kind of as a back end glitch somehow. But besides that, not a lot of technical issues for me. Which I mean I anticipated because I would assume they probably designed the game with the Xbox first in mind and how to engage with it, and then everything else secondary. So let's move on to gameplay. You've said this is a Halo game, and Halo is known for its gameplay. When you shoot in a Halo game, you know it feels like a Halo. It feels like you're shooting. You know, it doesn't feel like anything else. So let's talk about this gameplay. In general, like, have you guys had a chance to play most of the game mode maps? So like, you know, the big battle and regular like Slayer, deathmatch, bot arena, all that stuff. And if so, yeah, what's your general impressions of the gameplay?
I played, you know, the regular Slayer stuff like that, and I played competitive, and it's Halo. It's a little slow, I think, but I think that's because I'm used to, you know, Battle Royale, Apex, and killing people takes a long time.
That TTK has got to get
yeah. But besides that, I mean, gameplay is, you know, smooth. It's very I don't know what the word I'm looking for. Like, I guess precise or something. Like, it's very much the same. You know, the gun is taking the same amount of bullets every time. You know, the punching is good. You know, that I don't have any issues with the gameplay besides the killing takes too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have 30 hours in the game at least. So I've played it quite a bit, played every game mode, did all the weekly challenges, did the stupid Fiesta mode. I like the gameplay. Now, David, you said it's a little bit slow. I agree with that. You said the time to kill is a little bit slow. I agree with that. But it also feels faster than previous Halos. Like the Halo, it's definitely the fastest Halo with the sprint button and the slide.
Yeah.
And the time to kill, yes. And the time to kill, even though it's not quick, I also feel like that might be a little quicker than the older games, but I'm not sure on that point. But yeah, it's Halo. It feels like Halo 2, Halo 3 with a modern skin, a little bit of modern things where you can climb on ledges, you can sprint, stuff like that. The game modes are all pretty fun. You know, you have Oddball, Stronghold, and Capture the Flag along with Slayer in ranked mode. All those are pretty good. I'm glad that they went with Capture the Flag and Oddball and ranked because you don't see that in a lot of games. A lot of games strictly focus on Deathmatch or Slayer. So it was nice to see those other game modes, which, you know, I'm a sucker for a good Capture the Flag match. All the guns shoot very well. The maps are pretty fun. I have a few that I'm not so good at. I don't know if that's the map's fault or I just suck. It's probably that I just suck. It feels like there's too few maps right now. I would like to see them kind of expand that in the future, which definitely they will. And as you guys said, it was a free-to-play game, so they do have a battle pass. I actually bought the battle pass. I don't buy battle passes for anything, but I guess I'm very invested in this game now. So battle pass is fine. You can't get anything that makes your character stronger, which is nice. Obviously, we hate pay to win. So there's none of that going on. But yeah, gameplay is very solid, very reminiscent of the earlier Halos, but faster.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of thinking along the same thing. Like I guess I couldn't tell how much quicker it is compared to older Halos. I really just have in my mind how much slower it is to all the other shooters that are out right now. Like especially the TTK, which I think I complained about when I played the when they were doing like the flights for it. Like, I'm emptying a clip plus into someone's torso before they
Right.
go down, and it's just like, what is this, But again, yeah, it moves slower, and I think that's the allure to a lot of people for Halo. They feel like they can really take their time. They aren't as balled up intense because they're playing COD and 3 bullets in your knee will put you down and dead, and it's like, well, what the heck, So I think a lot of people like that, but yeah, that was pretty much really my only complaint. I like the maneuverability, the increased maneuverability. We've seen so many CG movies or other things, and Master Chief is good, hopping and jumping all over the place, and then you play the game, and you're kind of like this slab of concrete,
Yeah.
and it
Wanted
feels
to
nice
add
that
to that.
you're able to actually kind of maneuver in the same ways now as Master Chief would do. Yeah, I love the guns. I love every single gun in Halo. Always have. Even the Needler. People really underestimate the Needler.
Needler's great.
If you're like playing a somewhat kind of like more of a kind of support player, the Needler is perfect because you just shoot it and it just hinges onto someone and blows up, and it's fantastic. Yeah, but yeah, it's definitely been a very good experience. I'm looking forward to the single player campaign because that's what made me fall in love with the original Halos.
Right.
What kept me was the multiplayer, but what got me in was the solo campaign. So I'm very much looking forward to that. But I do feel confident based on this multiplayer that single player campaign is going to be good. I don't think they're going to make the Halo 5 Guardians mistake again of having us play someone else for more than half the game, because that doesn't make any sense. But yeah, so we've talked about all 5 categories. This free Halo Infinite multiplayer, but we still need to determine if it was worth it. We may not be talking monetarily, in case we're maybe talking, except for maybe battle passes. We're more so talking about the time investment. Okay, is this worth your time? Cory, how about you give your assessment first, because you're the only one of all of us that have given these people actual money. So
Okay.
from a was it worth it standpoint, think about combining with your battle pass as well as your time, your 30 plus hours in the game. Halo Infinite multiplayer, was it worth it?
Yes, I grew up on Halo. I fell in love with the single player and the multiplayer. So this feels like a dream for me. It feels like a faster version of those games I loved. The battle pass was $9. Is it worth it? No, the battle passes aren't worth it. I don't know. I was just in the moment, bought it. It's nice to have a little bit of variety to your character because they don't give you much variety without buying it, which is kind of unfortunate. But if you're looking for a very just solid shooter, a great shooter even, this is a game that you should put time into. Now, Halo is a pretty old franchise. What's it going on, like over 20 years at this point?
Yeah.
It was on the OG Xbox.
Yeah, so if you are a younger gamer, I don't think this will be worth it because, like David had mentioned, it is very slow compared to nearly all shooters today. And I don't think someone that's a little bit younger and didn't grow up on Halo 1 or 2 and not necessarily didn't probably buy 4 or 5 because those weren't as good, I don't think they would be really receptive to this game. Now, obviously, it's a free game, so you can definitely try it and see if you like it. But I just don't think it'll be for that type of gamer that plays Apex, Call of Duty, Battlefield, anything like that. But for me, 100% worth it, worth your time. It's free. Just download it. And like free. It's not Game Pass. I don't even think you need gold to play it.
Yeah, it's free.
Right.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. When you compare it to those other shooters. I feel like, you know what? I feel like you may find value in it if you're coming from Battlefield.
Oh, well, yeah. The new Battlefield for sure. It's a little bit slower.
It's a little slower, and it's also really super jank right now. So Halo might be a better option for you. David, what about you? Was it worth it for you?
Well, between the 3 of us, I'm the one that's always dogging on Halo.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, it wasn't that bad. I have no qualms with it. It is definitely updated Halo. Like, I even forgot to mention the new thing you can dash. You can use the little hood things,
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's they have the little shields. So it's a better game in my opinion. And while I'm not a fan of Capture the Flag and Oddball, I mean, it's a solid game. If you're into Halo, you are gonna like this one. Like you said before, like they made mistakes with like 5, and like I know 4 and Reach weren't as good as 3. Like this feels like the 3 to me, and I know that's where a lot of my friends put their time into the Halo series was 3, if not 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say it's worth it.
All right. For me, I'm going to say that it is not quite worth it yet. And the reason for that mostly, Cory, you kind of briefly mentioned it, didn't go into a lot of detail with it, but that is the very, very, very small collection of maps that you have to play with this multiplayer. That was an issue in the beginning with Halo 5 Guardians. And Halo 5 Guardians shipped as a quote unquote complete game mostly. They still had to add some things like Forge and other stuff like that. I think that 343 is going to be under even more duress with not only having to do work on this game, but also do work on the campaign and optimizing and improving both of them. So I think that the small collection of maps they have are going to remain small for quite a while. And I don't think that it'll keep your interest enough to where that investment in time will seem like it's worth it within the next few weeks. Because if you really get into a game, you know what I'm saying? Like, Cory, you got 30 hours into it. You think you're going to put another 30 into it?
Probably not.
So, like,
it's very rare that I get a game up to 60 hours. So,
yeah,
I might, but I'm just saying, going by my history, probably not.
But I mean, to me, I'm surprised you even put 30 hours into it.
Yeah, I've had a good time with it.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, so I feel like, but if you're someone that's, those other games where those games are all about, like, if you think about like Apex or something like that, those are all about having an attachment to the actual map, right? So the way you engage with the map in those games is going to be different than how you engage with the map in Halo, because it's going to rotate you, but those rotations are so small and minimal. There's enough difference to where you can't get attached, but not enough difference to where it feels like you're getting something new. So I think they're going to kind of be in that wheel a little bit, and I want to see them bring some more content to the table in regards to maps before it's like, okay, this is definitely worth your time.
Yeah, fair.
I can agree with that. I'm just so used to playing the same couple maps that it doesn't bother me.
Yeah,
specifically.
But
I definitely get what you're saying.
But it's almost to me it's almost you're playing a completely different shooter, because your whole thing is about knowing the map and understanding how to get positioning, and like that's the whole meta game. Like obviously you're doing that in whatever game, small matches you're playing in Halo with whatever map you're on, but it's changing all the time. There's different things that are happening. You may not be able to have quite as much of an investment in those locales and in those maps as you would in something like Apex, where you're like familiar with this area. And then when they have these special events where they do these massive changes to the map, it messes up the whole meta. The whole meta gets reinvented because now everyone has to come up with new strats of how they do things, like the actual maps themselves have stories and lives essentially, right? And that's just not how Halo is built, and that's fine. But I'd like to have them a little bit more before it's worth it. But they're getting there. They're a lot closer to it than I expected. So, but that is it for Was It Worth It? So we think it's kind of maybe worth it. It seems like in general, it's kind of maybe somewhat almost worth it.
It's really close.
It's really close. And again, it is free, $3.99. Well, we're done with Was It Worth It? And that means it's time for game time. What time is it? Game time. And what game is it?
David?
Oh, I wasn't sure. It's Gamerly Grood.
Gamerly Grood. There you go. Now, of course, Gamerly Grood, co-hosted by one of our top consultants and dearest friends, Steve Harvey. who told me today he is officially changing his name from Steve Harvey to Heve Starvey. So that will be
Dumbest joke I've ever heard.
That will be his name in the podcast. That's how he will be credited from now on. He will be Heve Starvey. So that's it. But he is co-hosting this level's Gamerly Grood with David. So
Yes.
David, Heve, take it away.
Yo, gotta step up my game. Gotta get on a winning streak here.
Yeah, you got to win a game for a change now.
Oh, jeez.
I know, right?
So we know it's, the end of the year, and the roundtable is about game awards, stuff like that. And as soon as I'm finished, you guys can buzz in because I feel like something may be a freebie. So I am going based off the game awards for game of the year, and because I looked them up, and there is a lot of different awards. And so we'll just go with the Game Awards for Game of the Year.
Okay.
And they started in 2014 and it's up to 2020. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7 answers.
Wow.
So somebody can win. So let's see how how well your guys' memory is.
Oh yeah.
So
I'm gonna nail this.
Game of the Year awards from 2014 to 2020, and it starts now.
Ding.
Cory.
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild is correct. That is one of the 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is not the one I thought we'd get first. Well done.
Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome. We're on you, Jeremy.
I'm going to go with the worst winner of the Game Awards, Shadow of Mordor.
All right. I don't know if I should save. Man, what was last year? I know what last year was. Should I? All right. So I'm going to go now with. Man, was this last year? It had to be. Did it win? I think it did. The Last of Us Part 2. Was that the freebie?
2. Ding ding. That was the freebie.
That was the freebie. Okay, I got one more in my holster here that I know Jeremy's not going to get.
Okay.
All right.
Not really digging where this is going. Let's see here. I'm going to have to go with
I'm gonna sweep it. I'm gonna sweep it, bro.
I'm gonna go with Ori and the Will of the Wisp.
God of War.
God of War.
Yeah, God of War did win. Okay. That was a really good year because Red Dead could have won it, but it was God of War.
That is the 2018.
Oh man, was it 3-0? I'm sweeping this, bro.
We have
I
the
live for these things.
The 18 and the 20 off the board. We are looking for 14, 15, 16, and 19.
19, 14, Jeremy. That was only 2 years ago.
And 19?
Correct.
It was only 2 years ago. Don't look off. Don't look off the side of your computer.
I'm not looking off the side. Hey, you hush it down. All right.
You've got to get the rest of them right.
This is nonsense. 2019. So I can remember in 2019 there was a huge call for PUBG to be listed in Game of the Year, but it didn't, obviously, because in 2019 the Game of the Year went to it went to Detroit Become Human.
It's on the board.
No, and that was 3 X's for him. I think I just won, correct?
Yeah.
That's 3.
2019 went to Sekiro.
That is correct.
That is correct.
Can you name the other 3?
What were the years?
14, 15, and 16.
Man, what year did The Last of Us come out? Was that 14?
So that was
2012. Okay. I don't think I can name the rest of them. 15.
We've talked about 2 of them.
What year did Shadow of the Mordor come out, Jeremy? I feel like that was earlier than those. I'm gonna guess Dragon Age Inquisition.
2014.
Okay, yeah, that beat Shadow of Mordor. So which ones do I have left here?
15 and 16.
15 and 16. I feel like 16 was a really solid. Wait, that was 17 was Breath of the Wild. So what came out the year before? What was on the Wii U? What was on PlayStation? Uncharted 4?
No.
Dang. All right, you can just list them. I won't use X's.
For 15 is The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt.
Mm.
And 16 was Overwatch.
Oh, wow. Okay, nice.
You know what's crazy? All these games, there was like 7 games, right?
Yeah.
All of them terrible. And that's the reason why I didn't know any of them. All of them are terrible.
Right, all of them.
They're all terrible games. Yeah. And look, we just talked about the choices for game of the year this year. They're all terrible games. They're all terrible games.
I thought you liked Breath of the Wild.
Huh?
This dude guessed Detroit Become Human as if that ever won Game of the Year, that would be the worst year of gaming ever. All right. Terrible pick.
That's fair.
That's
okay.
Right, so there we have it. Cory is.
Are you all right, Jeremy? Can you regroup and get us through this?
Not really.
Get us through this level.
Very quick, very bruising session of Gamerly Grood.
The worst defeat we've ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah, like in a blaze of fire, of which I fell. Yeah. But I guess I can regroup to talk about this game because I mentioned it earlier. It deserves all the spotlight and glory that can possibly be laid upon a game. And for this indie spotlight, I am talking about Wildermyth. Peeps, go look this game up. Steam still has their sale going right now. Pick it up. It's like a $20 game, I think, regular price. Might be a little bit cheaper now. It is a tactics, fairy tale, medieval fantasy RPG-ish game. It's all those things. You get to create 2 to 3 characters in your starting party. You give them all backstories. You give them all personalities and traits. And through these different quests of being and becoming heroes, they grow in power, they grow in relationships, and you forge these new interesting stories that are different every time you play it. And they go into this book of what you are writing these tales of heroes. You can recruit new people. Sometimes they have different encounters with different powers. So you might have a dagger that if you don't throw the dagger away, it eventually rots off your flesh and you become a skeleton. Or they may have a fire that happens where if your person sticks their hand into the fire, they eventually become a fire being, which means that they are no longer human, but they can just shoot fire like crazy. All these different things, and it obviously affects their tales and their stories and their personalities. Each of these stories are told as like different books. Some of those heroes that you play in previous books show up in later books, which is really cool. You can have a hero you create, and then you run into that hero later in the other story with your own new set of heroes. The storytelling is absolutely incredible. The investment you have in your characters is absolutely incredible. You can call them whatever, name them wherever you want, give them whatever attributes. You can obviously buy them different sets of armor and weapons. You can increase their powers. You can have warriors. You can have hunters, basically your arrow, your bow people, and you can have wizards or, basically mages, right? And so they have a bunch of different things they can do. You're fighting these evil dark beasts that are coming to, mess stuff up for your people in this weirdly twisted but sweet and fantastical world. It is an absolute delight to play. I was able to get through the first set, which is about 3 chapters, and I'm in the middle of the second set, which is about 5 chapters, and that's about 10 hours of gameplay I have in it so far. And I'm just waiting until I have a good chunk of time off so I can just go and dive back into this game for another, hopefully 20, 30, 40 hours, because I want to play every single chapter and every single nook and cranny of this game. I want to play multiple playthroughs of it, which I rarely do. I hate playing games multiple times. I'm a very lazy gamer that way, but this game makes me want to work for it, and that's how you know it's great. So I say Wildermyth, check it out. Believe his name is Matthias or Matthias Game on YouTube. He does a playthrough of Wildermyth, which is really, really good. I'd advise maybe you check that out if you want to get a sense of the kind of fantastic wonder that this game can provoke. If you're someone that likes to read books like, like a Harry Potter or a Lord of the Rings or something like that, it gives you that kind of feel and that kind of magic when you're playing the game. And I advise you you do that. At least check it out. So that is the Indie Spotlight, Wildermyth. People check it out. But that's my spotlight, which means we're going to end this level, as of course we always do with the final thoughts. And the final thoughts is when we give one last thought or point we want to make about anything, can be related or unrelated to this level of the podcast. So, who would like to give their final thought first?
Sure, I'll go.
Sure. Okay.
Did you guys know you could just rent out a theater?
No.
Yeah.
That's what I did to get my tickets for Spider-Man No Way Home. Rented out a 25-seat theater. So excited for the movie. Can't wait.
So maybe you want to step through that a little bit more?
Yeah, what?
You want to
Are we
step through
invited?
that a little bit more?
What do you mean step through?
You say, did you
Right.
know you can rent out a theater to get tickets to see Spider-Man?
Well, I did it for Spider-Man, but you can do it for anything. I just
Okay.
did it for Spider-Man.
So
Okay.
You have 25 seats?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you didn't even invite us?
I mean, you guys can be invited. I know Jeremy hates Marvel.
Hold on. There is so much here of which I am interested in, I like, and I hate. This is a very weird emotion I'm feeling right now.
What's going on? All right. So walk me through this. Your questions.
So my questioning is that you rented a theater. You rented the theater for Spider-Man.
When tickets became available for Spider-Man, I bought 6 because I was just gonna go with my wife and my brother and my cousin and their girls or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then I decided, man, 100 people in a small packed theater, it doesn't seem very healthy with what we have going on right now.
Right.
And midnight things like that, it's always kind of iffy. Anyways, I'm like, let's just rent it. How much is it to rent a theater?
Mm-hmm.
So it is $300 to rent a 25-seat theater. You take 300 and divide it by 25, it ends up being 12, which is the price of a ticket. So as long as you can get 25 people, it's the same exact price, and you're around everyone that you know, and you kind of don't, you're not going to get that very annoying person or
right.
Yes.
Right.
Did that answer?
So when's your showing?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Friday, December 17th, opening night at 10 p.m. It's a little late, but my wife works earlier in the day, and my brother has a couple jobs that he has to do, so it's a good time for us.
Okay. And so of these 25 seats, how many of them are currently occupied?
As long as everyone that says they're coming is actually going to come, I have to, double check just to make sure. I have to have them cash at me.
Right.
24. I actually got it.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So you were able to secure all the seats.
Yeah. And David, you can be number 25.
Well, I have my son that weekend.
Oh, he asked for an invite and then he denied. See, this is what people do.
Well,
why did I get invited? You want to come? Well, no. I'm glad. Jeremy's not even pretending like he wants to get invited. Jeremy, is that true?
Well, I mean, if you would have had an additional seat.
Oh, if you had
if you had 2 seats, he'd come. me and my son would have came.
That is very interesting and very good.
Yeah. If you guys want to come, if we literally have any dropouts, like it was literally like I had to invite 2 people, and my 2 people I invited with their wife and their kids totaled 12.
Yeah.
So my 2 people were half the theater, pretty much. So, and my wife invited, 3 of her friends. So, but yeah, I'll definitely, if something pops up, I'm sorry, I didn't know you guys were Marvel guys.
There's no apologies for it. Well, Spider-Man actually happens to be my favorite superhero. That's okay though.
If we were watching some French foreign film, Jeremy, I would have definitely invited you, you pretentious piece of crap. And David, if Scott Pilgrim 2 ever comes out, I'll rent one just for you.
I appreciate it.
Well, there you go. We found out something new. That's interesting. But That is a very interesting final thought. I'm glad you shared that.
Me too.
Next time you get a really big movie, maybe look into it.
Okay. I'm trying to think. I don't think there will be. I mean, unless there's new Spider-Man movies and they have Tom Holland in them, then maybe I'll go see them. Besides that, if it's not though, then
Well, supposedly this isn't the last one they're making.
They're making another trilogy with them, so. But this is gonna be the biggest one. This is, I mean, Toby and Andrew are coming back. So.
Oh, for sure. If they're not, we riot, right?
I will cry if they don't show up.
Yeah.
I will cry if they do show up.
Okay.
Either way, we're crying, one way or another.
It appears. Okay.
Happy tears, angry tears.
Right.
But I'll go with my final thought. You know, speaking of movies, I went and watched the new Resident Evil, and apparently, you know, box office wise, it did very poorly. It only made $5.5 million out of its $25 million budget. But I mean, I liked it. You know, it's based off the games. And was it exactly like the games? No, because they mixed 1 and 2 together. But I think they did a pretty good job at it. Like I honestly hope there's a sequel to this. But seeing how it's not making a lot of money, I don't know if there will be. That's my final thought.
How was the CGI? I know that got a little bit of flack.
Honestly, it wasn't that bad.
Okay.
Like
it looked like it was a movie made for the fans 100% because that was Resident Evil 1 and 2 like through and through. So that's good to hear that was at least a decent movie.
I went there with my girlfriend and she really liked that one. So we watched the original first Resident Evil movie, and the CGI in that one, you could really tell. So
that's
I know it's a bit difference in time, but yeah,
that's speaking of CGI, that's like one of the dirty secrets about Blu-rays. Never get a Blu-ray of an older CGI movie. It makes it unwatchable. Speaking of Spider-Man, like the original 3 Spider-Man, unwatchable. The CGI is so exposed on Blu-ray. So exposed. Yes, it looks terrible.
Well, I mean I thought they were originally unwatchable because of
Jeremy, you are so unbearable, Jeremy.
But
you are so unbearable.
The idea that you're saying the CGI is also bad, that's I couldn't tell, you know, outside of the acting. It's just terrible acting. I'll go. My final thought is I got to watch and fell asleep on the post-COVID South Park special. And in that special, the guys are grown up, and that was sad. I don't want to see them grown up. Kenny died in it, unsurprisingly, but that was, I didn't like that. So, but it was good nonetheless. That is my final thought, though. That's pretty much it. And that means that it is it for level 41 of the Thoughts and Players podcast. If you liked what you heard, please subscribe to the podcast on your preferred podcast service. You can like the podcast on Facebook at facebook.com/Thoughts and Players. Like it's all one word. We are on Instagram at Thoughts.Players. Of course, YouTube. We are on Twitter at ThoughtsPlayers2. Our recent giveaway winner. Follow and found us on Twitter. So there's some merit there. There's some value there. We are also on TikTok, and we started a Reddit. And so make sure you check that out as well. But that is it for us. We want to thank everyone again for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next level.